it can be a little bit stressful. So that's why I say it's not for everyone. It's not as easy as just walking into a store and buying a bag. You are taking risks on the pre-loved market. You have to be a detective, guys. Like, honestly, when it goes to buying pre-loved, like, really have a look and see if this person is going to be a scammer or what. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. Thanks for tuning in today. I wanted to talk about how to shop pre-loved and what I would recommend, how to avoid buying a fake, and yes, if I recommend shopping pre-loved. I've been shopping pre-loved bags probably ever since 2016, probably even earlier. Like, ever since I left high school, I was always buying things in the thrift store or eBay. You know, I love finding great deals. Although when I was younger, I always saw the op shop as kind of dirty and gross. Like, why would you buy pre-loved clothes? But then I kind of saw the value in it when I noticed that I could find clothes that were better made, really amazing prices, and it was really opened up a whole different bubble for me when I noticed you could buy Louis Vuitton bags from Japan, Gucci bags from Japan, things from the multicolored collection, vintage Chanel that you could no longer buy in the boutiques that were actually amazing and a lot more affordable. It really opened up a whole new world to buying for me when I opened myself up to pre-loved shopping. Not only is it a really sustainable option, but I feel like you can sometimes find things that are much better quality than what are in the boutiques today. Not to mention that you can save a lot of money shopping pre-loved as well. Now, the cons of pre-loved are obviously buying a fake is something that nobody enjoys doing. I've bought a fake bag a few times on eBay. I even bought one from a consignment store that was not in Melbourne, but they did refund me and gave me a $50 voucher, which was, something. Shopping from a reputable seller, you can sometimes be stung with fakes. But what would I recommend when shopping pre-loved? And would I recommend shopping pre-loved? I would say, you know what? I would recommend shopping pre-loved, but you have to do your research and you have to play it safe. If you take risks on the pre-loved market, it can honestly pay off. I will say some of the best bargains I found in risky situations, whether it was meeting up with somebody, which is something I wouldn't also not necessarily do. You know, I've met up with other ladies before buying a handbag, selling a handbag, and it can kind of be scary to meet up with the stranger because you really don't know who they are, and not to mention it could be quite dangerous. So it's not something I would recommend. If you are going to meet up with somebody, maybe bring a friend or your boyfriend or partner or something, just for your own safety, because I have heard of people meeting up with other people through Facebook groups and then they've like taken their money and run, and just horror stories like that. So if you are doing a trade, whether it's you've joined a Facebook group, because there are so many luxury Facebook groups like Chanel, Hermes, maybe you have some in your local town. Just be safe about it. A lot of these groups will sometimes only accept bank transfer only because, there's PayPal fees. If it's from an admin that has a really good reputation in that group, then they're probably not going to scam you, so you can probably take that risk. But if it's somebody who you've never met before and you just have no idea about, don't send the money via bank transfer. Have some sort of protection, or meet up with them so you can see them in real life, but bring a friend or have someone on call so you can do that trade. Because I bought a Chanel Coco handle a few years ago it was literally, guys, I know you're going to be a little bit shocked by this, but it was around $2,000 and it was authentic. But she wanted to buy an Hermes bag, so she was selling it low. This was back in like 2017. It was a blue Coco handle. I met up with her, I gave her the cash, and it was a really great trade. She even got it authenticated by Entropy, and then I did my own checks and it was completely fine. And then I actually ended up selling that bag later for even more profit because it was such a good deal. So some of these things, these risks that you take, a lot of the best deals you can find in Facebook groups, but they are probably the most risky way to shop. But it is, for example, also my plume bag I actually bought from a Facebook group as well. The admin sold it to me, so that was a little bit more of a reputable, it was a little bit more safe because it was like somebody who was in charge of the group, and I know that they had their own store as well, so I felt a little bit more protected, and I did pay bank transfer, but they were somebody who had a reputation, so it ended up being okay. So you can take risks, but just be smart about it, if that makes any sense. That's really the only way to do it, and that is how you can find the best deals. Now, you can also find really good deals on eBay, but sometimes not as good as Facebook groups because there's extra fees, and eBay is a little bit harder to navigate. I've got scammed on eBay so many times, whether the person just didn't send the bag. That's happened to me once. They just didn't send the bag, and I didn't have a refund for that for a while. Once there was even a glitch on eBay where I bought a handbag and they charged me twice. That was like an eBay glitch, was really bad. So I got like $4,000 taken when the bag was like $2,000. So there's been dodgy things. Honestly, eBay is like the worst sometimes, and it takes so long to resolve your issue. But when shopping from eBay, I'd shop from sellers. If you want to be safe, shoppers, again, that have really good feedback, like over 100 feedbacks that are really good. That's a little bit safer. Also, stores that guarantee authenticity. If anything goes wrong, they'll accept your return. Don't shop at stores that have bad reviews or not much feedback. It's a little bit more risky. Yes, you could get a better deal. Sometimes you can shop on those, kind of sellers that might just be selling one of their handbags, but they don't have much feedback, and it might be an amazing deal, and it might just end up being okay as well. But you have to understand that there's a risk in that, and it may not turn out. eBay will usually sort out the issue, but it can be a little bit stressful. So that's why I say it's not for everyone. It's not as easy as just walking into a store and buying a bag. You are taking risks on the pre-loved market with not meeting the person in real life, not knowing what quality they're going to send you. Like, it's hard to see sometimes the bag just through photos. And then you're also taking a risk on authenticity, which can also be hard to work out these days because of super fakes and all that. Now, when I get a bag, I do authenticate it. I can kind of look at it myself, and I've kind of got an eye a little bit for Hermes, Chanel, Saint Laurent. Because I've been around bags for quite a few years now. However, I do always get second opinions. I use Entropy. I use other platforms as well. I send through photos of Bubba Baby, that sort of thing. So I can get a few opinions and then make my own assumption of it. And of course, if you have an authenticity certificate with your bag, then it's a lot easier to sell as well, because it cuts out that step for somebody else. And then when they get it authenticated, it will all match up. It's just better to get a few opinions. It is hard to authenticate things these days. Gucci bags are hard to authenticate. New Chanel bags are hard to authenticate. Some Saint Laurent bags like the Lulu can be really hard to authenticate. And those I would be a little bit careful about, because the replica factories are really good at faking those. I've seen a few super fakes myself, and it's really hard to tell the difference. So that can be scary. If you're shopping on eBay, for example, screenshot the image of the bag that they've published, and then Google image search the same picture. So on Google, there's like a camera button, and then search the same picture. If that bag is appearing on multiple platforms, and it's not the same seller, it's possible that they've taken those photos from somebody else and just reposted them, and they're going to send you a fake. So do a Google image search of the same bag and really see if they're scamming you here, and if that is the only platform where the bag is, or if they've got the same picture on Facebook, maybe it's the same seller. Maybe you can see if you can reach the seller through Facebook in real life. You have to be a detective, guys. Like, honestly, when it goes to buying pre-loved, like, really have a look and see if this person is going to be a scammer or what. Look at the packaging as well. If you're looking at a bag on eBay, and then if the packaging looks a bit sus, I would say it's a red flag. Definitely a red flag, because why would they put fake packaging with a real bag? It doesn't make sense, right? And usually the packaging is more obvious than the bag. Like, I've noticed, like, sometimes the dust bag looks a bit off, or there's like some weird authenticity card, like with the Hermes bag. That is not usually the case. Something that's really obvious like that, it's a red flag. So I would just disregard it altogether. That is something that I would avoid. I would always recommend, if you do want to shop through the Real or Fashion File, or even your consignment store, it's always best to go there in real life if you can. Like, if I had a Fashion File in Australia, I would just go there and buy the bag, because you are able to touch and feel the bag in real life. You're able to see the quality, the condition, verify its authenticity with yourself. It is a lot easier to shop pre-loved if you go to the physical location than if you just wing it online. It'd be a lot more stressful to shop that way as opposed to shopping somewhere in real life. So I would say if you can go to the physical location where your pre-loved bag is, that is going to be easier for you. Also, just try and familiarize yourself with the bag you're buying. If you're buying, for example, a Chanel 18S emerald green mini bag, really do your research on that bag. Try and look at other bags online that look like that. Try and understand the collection. Look up YouTube videos of people unboxing that bag. Really understand what that bag looks like. So when you look at other images of that bag that you might be buying, compare the images. Look up at the caviar leather. Look at the turn lock. Really see if the date code is right. Does it match the same year? Really do your research on that bag. If you're buying a Loewe bag, look at the leather marquetry on that Spirited Away collection bag. Does it look the same shape as the actual bag from Loewe? If you're buying, for example, a birdie charm, that's something I've been looking for. I noticed one popped up on Vestiaire Collective, but I identified that it was fake because the eyeball was not the right proportion as the authentic birdie charm. I did my own authentication because I've looked at that birdie charm so many times. I could see the stitching was off and the eyeball was off, and that's how I could determine its authenticity. So it's really good to do your research on the bag that you're buying and really understand what it should look like for yourself. And that is all I'd recommend for now. Let me know your pre-loved buying tips. How have you found the best deals on the pre-loved market? And how do you guys shop in the pre-loved market? Or do you hate the pre-loved market? Do you hate taking risks? Are you someone who only buys from the boutique? Let me know. I like to do both, I just love bags, so can't get enough. And yes, thanks for watching today, and I'll talk to you guys on my next one. Bye!